Hello, this is day one of owning my Lotus Evora. So I took it out for a drive and I pretty much had it for full day. And I wanted to talk about something that most reviews don't actually talk about. And that's more of the characteristics of the car. So I wanted to start off with this beautiful carbon fiber back wing. It is very nice, but believe it or not, you can actually put your hands right through the car to the engine. So it looks good, but there's really nothing protecting the engine from dirt, dust, little critters. So that's kind of disappointing that most reviews don't actually talk about. Does it make a difference? Probably not, but it's still something that to me, would have been nice to have a piece of glass. Another item that we talked about is the battery charger. As you know, most Lotuses, or all Lotuses, come with a battery tender. There's a reason for that. If you don't drive the car every day or near every day, the battery actually dies within 2+ weeks. So taking it to an airport, coming back in 3 weeks, you're going to have a dead battery. Another little quirk on the car is on the front. You have these air vents, and if you look right down in them, you can see that there's holes and maybe things can get in there. And haven't quite discovered on how to clean something out if something does fall in. Looks great, but makes me wonder what's going to look like in a couple weeks, couple months, if leaves or something falls in. People are talking about the seats, how some people say it's comfortable and some people say it's not. Seats are actually very comfortable. The only issue is if you're 5'8" and you have to have your feet stepping on the clutch, it can make it really hard to get in and out of just because the seat's so close to the steering wheel. I find that I have to actually move the seat back in order to get out of the car, so I don't scrape against the seat, the leather, and eventually cause wear and tear on it. So it's too bad that the Lotus doesn't have automatic seats like the Porsche where you turn it off, like the seat moves back. And also sits a little high for me as well. So I know that's one of the complaints that a lot of people had. Another issue that people never talk about is the rear view. Well, let me just get that for you. That is what you're actually seeing when you're driving. Horrible. You can't see anything. When I actually tested over the car, I had to make a U-turn. And when I made the U-turn, I'm not sure if someone almost hit me or not. So one of the items that I did right from the dealership was I added this aftermarket camera, which is a back-up mirror. Let me turn that on for you. So you can actually see what's going on in the back of you. That would be really nice to have. Lotus, go ahead and add these as default. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a wire that plugs into the fuse box. So that really made a big difference on yesterday's drive. Another issue that no one ever talks about is when you're driving, the car doesn't self-lock. Yeah, I know that sounds like a minor issue, but boy, wouldn't that be really nice just to have it like every other car does today when you hit 5 miles an hour to self-lock? Is there a feature for that? I haven't found one. Also, the car actually is capable of XM. I hear a lot of people ragging about the radio. At least on the 2018 Evora 400, the radio's not that bad. I mean, has anybody really found a radio that they really like? The closest one that I found I enjoyed was the Porsche. But, this one's not bad. I mean, just listening to music and basic navigation. The next thing that I found that was funny, no one ever talks about, is the gas. When you're getting the gas, unlike most cars where you're holding it sideways, you literally have to hold the gas pump up and down because it's like more of a straight pipe going down to the gas tank. The air condition is another funky thing that's going on. The air conditioning heat. There's some cars that you turn it off and there's nothing coming out of the vents at all. Well, so far what I found is even when this car is turned off, there's still something coming out of the vents. So I ended up just turning it to midway of the heat and air condition. And, whatever air is cycling through let it cycle through as a medium temperature, so it's less noticeable. It's not really noticeable, but it's there. The windows, it does have one touch down, but it does not have one touch up. That'd also be a nice little feature. Does it make any of this stuff really make a difference? Not really. It's just things that if it had it, you wouldn't notice you had it, and it would just be a more polished vehicle. By not having it, you will notice it. And the gauges inside, if you come around, let's see if I can get them to turn on. The little white gauges to the left and to the right, they're really low quality. You can see when you're driving at times that the gauges themselves will just have like lines in it. And I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up. And the date is, the time format is in military time. At least you can change it to Fahrenheit. And this is for the US. So that was one of the issues. And funny thing is there's a light that lights up on the dashboard when you start it when it's cold. So you have this blue light that just sits there until it actually warms up. I guess that's for people that are abusing their cars, not to abuse it when it's cold. So those are the funny little quirks that I've found in the car. Again, not complaining, just giving some facts on what the car is and things that people just don't really talk about that a daily driver would notice or would want to know. So far, I absolutely love this car. It's a great car. And we'll see what other little surprises the car brings in the future.